It is Thursday, February 12th. I'm Michael Hannigan of Henderson County Now, and this is News Clipped. And I feel a rant coming on today because I learned something this week that lets me know not only am I out of touch, but the drug culture in Henderson County is out of control. I learned a phrase called smoking wet. Now, I don't know if any of you have heard this, but I figure that the union of a Venn diagram of the sets people who listen to News Clipped and people who smoke wet is probably totally empty, a big fat zero. So I'm figuring a lot of you don't know this phrase. What it is when someone takes a joint, a marijuana cigarette, or a regular cigarette and dips it in embalming fluid, then lets it dry and smokes it. So do you got that? What we're basically doing is we are smoking embalming fluid when we talk about smoking wet. To me, this has got to be the most ridiculous thing that I have ever heard in my life. Embalming fluid is what we do to people when we put them in the ground after they die. It makes their insides not liquefy. It's an unbelievably bad drug to ingest while you are still breathing. I don't know how somebody could think that this was a smart idea. Let me tell you how bad this drug is. I started doing some research on it, and I found out that this is one of those drugs that makes people go absolutely crazy. And when I say crazy, a local law enforcement official told me, use the phrase, zombie eating face crazy. That's what this drug does to people. I read a report in New Jersey where someone cut somebody's head off while being high after smoking wet. So I had to ask myself the question, exactly how do you ever even get to the point where you get in your head, hey, here's a great idea. Why don't I try smoking embalming fluid? So I looked it up. And apparently, according to the National Library of Medicine, what happened is back in the 1970s, PCP, the drug PCP, had the street name embalming fluid. And people looking for a bigger high than just marijuana would provide would dip marijuana into PCP. Well, because PCP's street name is embalming fluid, some genius tried doing real embalming fluid. And sometimes smoking wet is a combination of embalming fluid and PCP. When this happens, things can get really, really, really crazy, according to what I've read. So the big thing here is that there are apparently people in Henderson County, Texas, who think it's a good idea to take cigarettes, dip them in formaldehyde and embalming fluid, let them dry, and smoke them. And these people were out on the streets. I have a hard time even comprehending this or knowing what to say about this, except to say to you police officers and our district attorney's office and our court system that are dealing with these people, thank you for trying to stand in between us and them. And second, if you're one of the people who think that this might be a good idea, just don't. Nothing can possibly be worth what you're doing to yourself by smoking embalming fluid. You are killing yourself quickly. Anyway, that's today's rant. As always, coming to you from the big White House on East Tyler Street, where Jeff Weinstein and crew do Weinstein Law, Weinstein Realty, Henderson County Now, Uncle Fletch, and just a whole lot of other stuff. Thank you for listening.